believe it or not, but these 8 gig SSDs actually do exist. And they don't come from some weird Chinese company either. These are manufactured by Transcend, and as far as I can gather, these are not really made for consumer-based retail stores. They are actually made for lighter weight applications, like a point-of-sale system, where these actually came from. They were harvested from redundant point-of-sale systems, and I found them to be very interesting. Now, I wanted to figure out, what on earth can I actually load on here, and are they at all any useful? And if they are useful, can I actually run anything on it? And I've got 3, because I want to try and put these in RAID. So not just are we going to run one, but we are going to try and RAID this. So to take advantage of this RAID setup, I would need a motherboard that is compatible. So I've decided to go with this MSI board. It's going to be in my next video as well, and I'll tell you why later. But this is the B365 Pro VDH. And this board is actually perfect because it's got 6 SATA connectors. So we've got more than enough options for a RAID configuration. And we're running an i3-9100F in our setup. To do the RAID configuration was actually quite straightforward. We had to go into settings, so this is under advanced settings. If you press F7 and then you go to advanced again, you would then need to go to your Windows operating system configuration. Make sure that this is UEFI. If it's not that and it's CSM, which is the other sort of a boot environment that Windows supports, you would not be able to turn on your RAID configuration. So that's your first step. Make sure that you are running a Windows OS configuration of UEFI. And then once you've done that, save and reboot so that those changes can apply if you had to make them. Next step, we're going to have to go back into advanced settings, and then depending on your motherboard, for ours it was under the where was it again? Yeah, here we go. So just make sure that it is set to UEFI after you've rebooted and saved your settings. And then when you go into, here we go, so it's integrated peripherals there, SATA mode. You'll see here that we can set it now to RAID or Optane mode. So once we've done that, you can see the SATA mode is now set to RAID. So that's awesome. And once again, we have to go and save and exit and reboot the system. So let's do that. Okay, so third time. This is the last time we get into the BIOS. So advanced. Then now you can see there that we have the Intel Rapid Storage technology available. That wasn't there before, so we've got that. And finally, we can go and create our RAID volumes. So this board actually gives us 3 options. So we've got RAID 0 for Stripe, RAID 1, and RAID 5, which is then mirror and parity as well. So for our first setup, I think I'm going to go with the parity setup, just so that you know it's quite tricky sometimes to navigate through your BIOS. So I had to use the mouse to select the X's. I couldn't do this with my keyboard. It's very stupid, but anyway, I don't make these boards, I just work with them. So just keep an eye out for that. If your board is also an MSI board, or you struggle with something, maybe just use the mouse instead of the keyboard. I prefer use the keyboard, but anyway, that is what it is. So then I went and selected all of my drives, which you can see there are 3 of them attached already. So then I select them, and this is very cool. It gives you your capacity at the end. So I already know that I'm going to have about 15 gigs of capacity, which is enough for the normal Windows 10 Pro installation, which I'm going to do next. Unfortunately, in mirror, you can see that it's just over 7 gigs, so that's not going to be enough for a normal Windows Pro. But we have something, how can I say, special planned for that. So stay tuned. As you're going to see, we're going to still do Windows 10, but it's a very weird version that runs on 8 gig and less. Or actually, no, sorry, 8 gig minimum. Okay, so there we go. We're going to go RAID parity. Awesome. All done and dusted. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and click on create volume, which will then create the RAID configuration for us. Awesome. So save and exit. Now it's time to get some Windows going. Also, because we're running a 9100F, we had to put up a GTX 1070 graphics card, and here are all our drives attached loosely. And obviously here we go, this is our Windows installation, so 14.9 gig showing, and we can go ahead and install Windows. So next, and we'll skip through this part because it's so boring to watch someone install Windows. And here we have it, got our results. We use Crystal Disk to make sure we're getting a benchmark sorted. As you can see, the results are not that great. 53 megs a second read is not very good, but I think we have a issue, because when I look at the previous video that I just showed you, I could see that the third drive was actually disconnected. So we can't be too angry with that performance. So what I've done is I've just gone back to the setup and I've reconnected it. Unfortunately, it was low performance due to that SATA cable that was actually disconnected. That drive there, the top one, the third one there. So what that means is when I boot it up in here, I could see that it's rebuilding. Hi guys. That it's rebuilding the RAID configuration, and then I had to wait and it went to normal once it has done that. So then our fixed results, 116 megabyte, which is nothing to write home about. I mean, I don't think that's going to get anyone excited. So I went ahead, installed Windows again, this time for a striped setup, and I got 148 meg on RAID 0. So also really nothing. Now, at this point, I'm starting to feel a little bit bleak. These drives, as awesome as they seem, they are actually not performing anywhere near what I was expecting of an SSD hard drive. So I took the sticker off and I just wanted to get a little look underneath, as I've taken this one out because I can only do 2 drives in a RAID 1 mirror configuration anyway. So I took this one out and I just looked under the sticker to see if I can see anything interesting. So it seems like they've got different versions, because as you can see, there seems to be space for more memory modules or memory chips. So that F21 over there, they could basically solder on more chips there, and on that side as well, F31, and probably increase the capacity to 16 gig, but I'm not sure if they even exist. So I've gone ahead, put it in a mirror configuration, installed Windows, and there we go. I got 800 meg left after installing Windows. That version of Windows was Windows 10 Lite. I'm not going to tell you how or when, but it installed and I could run, and that means that I got a full 50.7 meg a second. Nothing to write home about. So I wasn't happy. Started to get my Kingston normal SSD out, installed Windows to see what am I supposed to be getting, and guess what? This is the type of results that I was expecting. 490 read, 400 write. I mean, the rest is just nonsense. That's all we needed to know. So it's 4 to 5 times better than these stupid 8 gig SSDs. But if you've liked this video, hit that like button, hit us a comment. I've got a few of these that I want to hand out to our subscribers, and you can only do that if you're actually subscribed. So let us know in the comments what you want to see next time. And on a more serious note, we used the Windows 10 Lite to install on SSD under 8 gig. I don't think it's going to be actually very useful, because you can't really install much on an 8 gig after Windows has been installed. 800 meg is not going to get you very far, but it was interesting that you could actually do that. And then for our next video, I'm looking at this little bundle on my right hand side with the 9100F motherboard and 1070, and I'm going to put it to the test, because I actually think that this could be the best budget PC that you can buy right now. So subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.